Now let us track the metrics. The survey responses The survey responses reveal that the issue with lunch here is that 47% of the respondents are unable to consume homemade lunches. Out of these respondents, 67% are people who want their own lunches to be delivered from their homes to workplaces. Now, this shows that a lot of people of Delhi are aware of the consequences of convenience food and that they prefer homemade food. 33% of the people surveyed want the services from a commercial kitchen, and the price that people are willing to pay for the Dabbawala services goes up to 2,500 rupees. The survey feedback that we have received for our model shows that the desired Dabbawala system shall provide a timely delivery of healthy, hygienic, homely or homemade, tasty, and hot food at an affordable price. Other than the direct feedback, we also analyze the comments and tweets of people on various social media handles of the trendy and popular food services, and this brings out certain other issues which are related to the food systems in Delhi, which are careless attitude towards the orders placed, no redressal of customers' complaints, low wages to the delivery persons, and health impacts due to plastic packaging. Next is use of social media as a tool of advertising. For the purpose of knowing the potential of social media as a medium of advertisement, we have created an Instagram business account and have been consistently active on the handle. The insights that we have received from Instagram shows us our reach, interactions, and activities on the handle. The analysis shows that we have an increasing reach, and it further makes clear the potential of social media as a tool of advertisement. Now, next is the Dabbawala model that we have been talking about. So based on where is the food being produced and delivered from, the model can be divided into food from commercial kitchens and food from homes. Food from commercial kitchen is a localized model catering to a localized market. To present an example here, we have chosen the demand cluster of North Campus, Delhi. As you can see the map, the first one red dot represents one workplace with several potential customers who want their lunches on all the working days from a nearby commercial kitchen. If the demand is said to be located here, the potential location of a commercial kitchen could be in the Hudson Lane area. Because of the presence of demand, the workplace is being located within 2.5 kilometers from this place and availability of raw materials. The production of food in commercial kitchen would be done by women from the nearby areas who will be employed depending on the number of dabbas to be prepared. Next comes the transportation of the dabbas. This will take place through e-rickshaws, which are a very popular and established means of transportation in North Campus, have a good carrying capacity and cheap fares, and are relatively fast, thus ensuring a speedy delivery of the dabbas. For the same, shortest routes between the kitchen and each of the workplaces have been found out with the help of Google Maps. Each dabbawala will have a demarcated area of delivery. So a dabbawala who is going to Miranda House on the shortest route will also deliver the dabbas at various other demand points which are in the vicinity of Miranda House. For example, the Khalsa College, Meghdut Hostel, etc. The number of dabbawalas employed will depend on the number of demand points in the area. The delivery time would be fixed so as to not extend beyond 5 to 15 minutes for each of the delivery. Now, the entire mechanism of this system can be understood with the help of the next flowchart. The dabbas will be picked up from the commercial kitchen by the dabbawalas. They will follow the shortest routes. They will deliver the dabbas at the demand points. They will collect the dabbas back from these points and finally bring them back to the commercial kitchen.
Next comes the second aspect of our model. It provides the service of delivering tiffins directly from the customers' homes to their workplaces during their respective lunch hours. This service comprises of multiple collection points and workplaces where distribution will take place. The collection points represent the residential localities of customers. Distribution will take place in their workplace localities. This collection and distribution of dabbas will be done through a multimodal means of transport based on the distance. CNG vehicles would mainly be used for collection of dabbas from homes, e-rickshaws would be used for distribution of dabbas, and the Delhi Metro would be used by dabbawalas to travel to the demand centers. Next, the map shows the workplace locations, that is, the location of demand in red dots. Similarly, the residential localities, that is, the pickup or collection points, are in green dots. Several people working in any of the demand cluster may have their homes in random localities. Therefore, multiple dabbawalas will be employed locality-wise. Next, the flowchart shows the collection, transportation, and distribution mechanism of food from home services. Here, the households act as the collection point from where dabbas will be carried to the nearest metro station. The shortest route will be used to transport the dabbas. Then, the dabbas will be carried to a common location where sorting will take place, after which the distribution will be done by using e-rickshaws. Further, the map shows the collection mechanism of dabbas from home localities. Here we have taken Munirika as a locality and the red dots represent the location of various homes present here. The dabbawala will collect dabbas from all these homes and bring them to the nearest metro station. In this case, the nearest metro station has been marked by a purple dot. Next, this flowchart shows the functioning of the Dabbawala model. At the nodal office would be the manager. The work distribution would be as follows. The person at post 1 would be responsible to handle user subscriptions and food preferences. Post 2 would manage functioning of commercial kitchens. Post 3 to employ Dabbawalas as per demand. And post 4 manage transportation costs, routes, and modes of transport.
The next part is assessment of paradigm shift. So prior to the advent of social media, fieldwork had a strong hold on the geographical researches, which actually required a direct interaction between physical setting and the researcher. But as the time advanced, the research tools broadened, and specifically in the first decade of 21st century, we witnessed the strong influence of social media. And thus, because of its larger outreach, it entered the realm of geographical research and convincingly made the data collection process easy. Now, despite of its exceedingly significant role in researches, we have found that it, however, may not be regarded as an alternative to fieldwork. Precisely because of the following reasons: lack of the direct contact, privacy concerns due to cyber crimes, unavailability of intended data, inactive respondents on social media, fake responses and misinterpretation of the concept, and approachability to a certain type of population. While some challenges can be addressed effectively with solutions like regular checks on social media data, use of securer methods, using social media analytic
To
tools,
in between, but you have exceeded the time limit of 8 minutes, so kindly conclude the presentation as possible.
Sure. Establishing direct contact through phone numbers. Now, nonetheless, the geographical researchers are increasingly resorting to social media to cut short time and costs, specifically in the wake of disasters. Now, we would like to conclude with the note that our research focused on social media potential as a research tool, and subsequently, the Dabbawala model has been worked out for Delhi using analytic tools of social media and the advantage of reaching out to multiple people at the same time. We believe that the model will act as a nudge to enhance healthy food habits among people. And with this, we thank you for all your efforts for this enabling conclave.
Judges, questions?
Thank you very much for your presentation. It was a very well organized presentation and a very interesting topic of discussion. Just I wanted to know what was your respondent size for conducting the survey?
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, we did the survey in two separate categories. The first survey that we did was the preliminary survey where we spoke to approximately 100 people, and the next survey that we did was included 200 people. So, in all, we have 300 people, and they have responded to in our survey.
By which social networking site you have interacted?
So, ma'am, as we have already mentioned, we have basically circulated Google Forms. These were the forms which were circulated on WhatsApp, and we also provided the links on our Instagram business account, and we also had business accounts on Facebook and another account on Twitter. So we circulated the forms on different accounts.
Thank you, Janvi. It was a very nice presentation, very informative, and potentially can be used as a model for Delhi also. It's very nice.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, just to continue to what Dr. Kaur has suggested, really a nice presentation. And I can say this is something parallel to what we do in community psychology. Right. So you have actually proposed a model, right? In the conclusion, you just mentioned that how the social media platforms are used for research, as well as proposed an alternative model for Delhi, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So my point is, like, did you do, like, you also analyzed the social media platforms for a review or something like that you just mentioned earlier?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am,
ma'am.
we did.
You did. Okay. And the target group you intend for the
Ma'am,
model?
the group that we intend consists of two categories of people. First is the outstation students who are there in Delhi, because these are people who do not have their homes located in Delhi. So these are people who are suffering from problems, like who are consistently been consuming convenience food. Other than that, it's also about the office going people, people who are involved in services, because these are people who, and especially when we consider the lifestyle of Delhi, where everything is very rapid and very fast, so people are literally running for work all the time. People don't have time to cook. People don't want to cook, or they might not have the energy to cook. So these are the two categories of people we have included in the research.
So have you based this on any model? I mean, you want to replicate it? Have you followed any, you,
Ma'am,
yeah, tell me.
yes, ma'am. This is not a replication, I would say. We have basically focused on two models. First is the Dabbawala model of Mumbai, which is very famous. We have derived the idea of a Dabbawala model from Mumbai. Other than that, we have also taken insights from the Kudumbashree model of Kerala, which has already
Kerala.
been in the literature
Right,
review. This
right.
model includes, yes, ma'am, though this includes women, and women come together to make SHGs, self-help groups, and then they take up activities, economic activities. So we have, what we decided was, when we are talking about the production aspect, production in the commercial kitchen, we will be employing women, as I already mentioned, from the nearby areas, who will come together and they will cook in the commercial kitchen. So this is also a way of providing women a chance, if they want to use their skills, if they have the skills, and if they want to use their cooking skills to earn something and have have their economic liberty, then they have an option.
Great. Good work. Really good work. Thanks.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, team. Do we have any another question?
All right.
Be- yes, sir.
Just
Yes,
a
sir. Yes,
small
sir.
question. Yeah. Okay. So it's a wonderful work, and it's a work in a very, very emerging field of economic geography, that is service geography. My only concern, is why do you think that the responsibility of cooking food should be given to women? Is there any economic or
So,
otherwise any other
uh,
logic for this?
understood your question. Sir, this is not our prejudices against women. This is not a stereotype that we are employing women so that women can stay in cooking. It's just an opportunity. We believe that women, and I already mentioned in the last response, that women who have the skills and who have the consent, who want to cook and think that they have the skills, so they should cook and earn something, only they will be employed. So it's a total choice on women. Only they will come and they will choose to cook. It's not a compulsion. They will choose to cook to earn.
Also, sir, this is to increase the economic liberty of women and to increase the women work participation rate in Delhi, which is actually low comparatively.
Sir, I would also like to say that in commercial establishments like hotels and restaurants, we generally see only men
Okay,
cooking. So I believe
that's
that this
nice. But I have another issue.
Yes, sir. Are
That's a
you
good
saying
idea
something?
anyway. So my next concern is how would you ensure quality concern? Because in hotels which are registered, there are regular checkups. So do you have any element of quality control in this model?
Yes, sir. Sir, since we have already mentioned that the model has two aspects, when we are talking about when people are choosing to get their own food from their homes, so in that case, they have a choice. They have made the choice that they would want they want their own food, so that would come from their place, and that quality is ensured in that case. The what we are doing is that we are trying to ensure quality in when we are producing the food in the commercial kitchen. So in that case, the overall cost of the model is we are trying to reduce the overall cost of the model by different means, because the means of transportation that we are using are also not very costly. Even when we are talking about metro, it's also the cheapest, it's also a very cheap means of transportation in Delhi. So we have tried to keep the total cost incurred low. So in that case, if we have the total cost that we are incurring is low, we can try to use that money for ensuring the quality of the food. And that's why we've been focusing on the quality of the food so far in the model.
Thank you very much. It was a wonderful presentation. Really a very nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just a little announcement before we move further. Judges, kindly take note of your timings each presentation, and if the presentation is exceeding 10 minutes, you all have to take care of that, and teams are supposed to conclude their presentation within 10 minutes. And the timings of the presentation will start with the title slide once they start with the screen share. So judges, please take note of that. Thank you. Analya, over to you.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm going to call the next team, because team number 14, they have some technical issues and we have given some time to rectify it. I'll be calling team number 15. Their topic is use of social media
Ananya,
as a...
1 minute. 1 minute. I think this is team number 12 which has come, because that is what has been shared with.
No, ma'am. It was team number 12. We'll be calling them at the end. This was team number 13.
Ma'am, team number 12. Team number 12. They will be presenting in technical session 4, ma'am.
No, but actually, what you have given us.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Gayatri and her team, service geography. It is at number 12.
Yes, ma'am. It was there, but actually in technical session 4, we have only 4 or 5 presentations. So we have shifted that because already
but in the list, it is showing 12. The presentation which was just held, it was given as 12 serial number.
Yes, ma'am. But morning only I got to know that in the schedule, I mean, there are
what I'm just saying is that according to your serial number, this is 12 and
this is
the
12
on the Dabawala. So this serial number is 12 only.
No, which team has shifted? Which team has shifted to 4th session?
Ma'am, team number 12 from technical
session. Team का नाम बताओ and title.
Yes, ma'am. I'll tell that.
Ma'am, the title of the I'll tell the title. From the technical session 2, they could not perform yesterday, and their topic is social media and nutrition literacy, a way to mitigate nutrition paradox and health challenges in Indian adolescents.
1 minute.
Ma'am, team members are Medha Yadav, Ritu Kumari,
Diksha Devi, Asta Gupta, and Rohit Kumar.
Team has been shifted to ma'am. Technical session 2 में कल हुआ था ma'am. So they will be presenting in technical session 4 आज. Because in technical session 4 we have got only 5 presentation.
Dr. Kaur and Dr. Alam, are you getting what Dr. Rashmi is saying?
Yeah, we are getting. But my only concern is, please clearly tell us, this Gayatri Nayas team is team number 13 I have written. Am I
yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
No, but in the list, what you have shared is team number 12.
Yeah. I'm not seeing any list.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'll just take Dr. Rashmi.
Yes,
please create a list with our respective judges. I would request you may take a 1 minute break and match the data with the judges.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
That would be nice.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, team number 12.
देखो, team number 12 is Gayatri and her team, service geography. That has been done.
Okay,
let us retain it like that. Let us retain because इसमें कुछ change नहीं हुआ है, right?
Okay, ma'am.
अभी ये कौन सी shift हुई है?
मैम अभी जो है अभी this यश
कौन से सेशन से शिफ्ट हुई है?
मैम यश वाला जो टीम है वो एक्चुअली दे विल बी प्रेजेंटिंग इन द लास्ट इन दिस सेशन टेक्निकल सेशन, और जो कल हमारा एक
अच्छा,
टीम
you mean to say 13 वाली जो है?
मैम आई एम गोइंग विद प्रोग्राम शेड्यूल मैम एक्चुअली.
एक मिनट.
Rashmi, do you have title names of these?
Yes, ma'am. So
please tell the title which is in the last of this session. Title बोल दो ना.
Ma'am, reimagining and restyling the geography of political perspective, a case study of Bihar electoral scenario. So they will be they requested me that they will be presenting in the last in this session.
Last of this technical session.
Okay.
ठीक है, वो 17 के बाद जाएंगे वो, ठीक है?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And there is another change that social media and nutrition literacy, a way of ma'am.
ये कहाँ पे है?
Ma'am, ये कल they were supposed.
ये कल था, Monica. This was yesterday, but they didn't appear in the presentation. So
actually,
they are going to present
it. Was unwell, so
कविता इसमें क्या उसका सीरियल नंबर क्या है सेशन 2 का? बिकॉज उनका नेम दिख रहा है इसमें.
May I request one thing, Rashmi, Dr. Rashmi, please. May I request one thing? Let us keep the serial numbers as it is. Only, I think, only difference that has happened is the shift of time.
Correct.
Right. So I think अगर हम serial number disturb करेंगे तो we all will. I mean, there will be problem. Let us retain the serial numbers and only the shift of time we can consider. Like yesterday's one team number, serial number. Analia, what was the yesterday's title and the serial number?
Ma'am, social media and nutrition.
Title भी बोले.
Social media and nutrition.
Okay. Serial number.
Nutrition serial number in this list it is 12. And the title is
no. I think Dr. Kavita, आपके पास पूरा original data है, आप match करें.
Ma'am, we are
screen share कर लेते हैं. Better would be to share the screen.
Better would be. I request judges, please. Yes, I request judges, please. See the theme and just tick that this theme is going on right now.
Just a minute, I'll just share my screen.
Dr. Kavita, I think what you are referring, it is at number 23, technical session 4. Social media and nutrition literacy you're talking about, a way to mitigate nutrition.
Just have a look at the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Evaluated it. Just see the screen once. 12 is basically service geography to social media links.
We have
and
done
what
this.
we're talking about is 13 in serial number this technical session 3. That is reimagining and restyling the geography of political perspective.
Right.
This is the presentation we are going to have now.
No, this will be after 17 you said, na?
Okay, so 13 is not presenting now. We are going to start with the 14. That is use of social media research tool in geography.
And ma'am, if you go to the last session, ma'am, आप last technical session 4 पे आप जाइए. The last presentation. इसमें 4 में if you go the last one, 23rd. I think you're talking about this.
23rd one.
Yes, ma'am. So, ma'am, in your list, it has already been corrected. It's just
yes, ma'am. This is the presentation, yeah, ma'am.
So I think we have done with the 12th. Now we start with the 14th. The 13th is not presenting now.
Right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
It is sorted out.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. I'm sorry for all this confusion.
It's absolutely okay. Aadhi confusion, it is better we sort it right now.
Yes, ma'am. So I'll call in the next team. Their topic is use of social media as a research tool in geography. And the team members are Akansha Singh, Aditya Agarwal, Hardik Thori, Nilanjan Kumar, and Sampurna Bhattacharya. Do we have the team here?
Yes, we are here.
This is team number 14, I suppose.
Yes, sir. This is team number 14.
Okay, good.
So good morning, everyone. Today we are here to present our topic, social media as a research tool in geography. In the era of World Wide Web, we see that social media is emerging as an efficient tool in geography. It is not only used for socializing. We use it today for data collection, information sharing, for conducting surveys and interviews, and collaborating for projects. So basically, this is a strategy which we use to achieve the objectives. Firstly, we selected the platform on which we are conducting the surveys. Then a questionnaire was prepared. For secondary data collection, we used various articles of academia and ResearchGate, and then data analysis was done. We used both primary as well as secondary data. For primary data, the Google Forms link is circulated on various social media platforms. And for secondary data, we refer to academia and ResearchGate. We use non-probability homogeneous purposive sampling for collecting data. It is in this sampling method, it is easy to make generalization. And for reducing bias and errors, we used to reach maximum number of respondent, which was 280, a good number in itself. And for analyzing data, we used Microsoft Excel, and the data is represented in the form of pie charts and bar graph. So basically, we had these objectives to achieve, to analyze it, how social media methods are different from traditional methods. And a survey-based analysis was done that how efficient social media is. Then we looked for scope of social media as a research tool in geography and pros and cons of using social media for research. So this is a questionnaire. We looked for both qualitative as well as quantitative data in the questionnaire. And we conducted our study area as Delhi. So now we will look at how digital methods are different from traditional methods for research in geography specifically. In digital methods, we see that data can be collected more quickly and cheaply, whereas in traditional methods, it is an expensive thing. In digital methods, one can cover a wide geographical area, but in traditional methods, the data of only specific places can be collected. In digital methods, an interviewer is unable to observe person sentiments, but in traditional, we have advantage over this. In digital methods, one can face interruption while collecting data by fake social media accounts, but in traditional methods, these errors and misleading data can be removed. In digital methods, we see the data can be stored easily, but in traditional methods, we see the data is manual, so it is a laborious thing to collect and store data. In digital methods, we can have an advantage here that this data can be linked with GIS softwares, and we can have advantage for using it for further research, but in traditional, we lack with this advantage. Now over to you, Nilanjan.
Good morning, everyone. Now, the usage of social media around the world is ever increasing. Social media statistics from 2019 shows that there are 3.5 billion social media users worldwide, and the number is still growing. This is nearly 45% of the current population. To break it down further, 90.4% of millennials are active social media users. An average of 3 hours per day is spent on social media. Even in India, with the ease of internet access, the number of social media users in India stood at 326.1 million in 2018. The increase is relatively lower as compared to growth that occurred between 2016 and 17. The social network users in country were expected to be almost 448 million in 2023. As it is a very vast network, social media can be used as an efficient tool for research also. In social media websites also, there are different themes for particular websites, just like blogging, survey conducting, and sharing and discussing. For blogging, Wikipedia, Tumblr are used. For survey conducting, polls everywhere. Google Forms are used, whereas for discussion and sharing, there are vast networks like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and etc. Now it's over to you, Hardik.
Hello everyone, Hardik here. Now let's look at the data analysis of the respondents' answers. 54% of our respondents were between the age of 15 to 20, majority being female. Next slide, please. Out of them, 78% of them agree that social media helps them in efficient data collection, and the number is nearly same for everyone who agrees that social media helps them in learning and academics, which is 77%. Around 45% people agree that social media helps them in enhancing their academic research skills, and 70% people think that it provides them a wider geographical coverage. We also found out that although most people spend around 1 to 2 hours daily on social media, followed by people spending 2 to 4 hours, but majority of them agree that it helps them in saving a lot of time for research work. The most popular social media tools which the respondents use for research are YouTube, which is 78% people use, Wikipedia, which is used by 58%, and these are followed by Instagram, 21%, and Facebook, which is 8%. Your turn now, Sampurna.
Good morning, everybody. Now I am going to discuss about the SWOT analysis, which is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of social media tools for research purposes. Firstly, being the strengths. Social media tools provide a channel where any research can quickly diffuse to broader audience. Opinions of mass number of people can be recorded very swiftly. Social media provides a platform which is faster, easier, better, and most importantly, it is cost effective. Anyone can collect data, that is, it needs no specialized skills for it. Secondly, being the weaknesses, respondents may not feel encouraged to provide accurate and honest answers. This method of surveying is not applicable to survey that section of the society which is still away from the internet or technology. Online survey can be deleted and can lead to biased data. One cannot observe the feelings and emotions of the respondent. Thirdly, being the opportunities, social media is capable of storing large amount of research information that can be used for future purposes. The rate in which these tools are growing can provide vast opportunities, including research works. Machine learning and AI open up the vast unlimited scopes and opportunities. And fourthly, the threats of using these tools are forged accounts and bots created by professionals can lead to manipulated research data. Cyberbullying, spamming, and abusing on public data collecting platforms is a dominant threat. Phishing attempts with fake links under the name of research. And lastly, private data collection is a major problem which includes spreading and selling of that data.
Now, finally, we will look what we found out that social media can become a great tool for research in geography, but it should be made a part of curriculum for research. And effective and huge data can be collected in short span of time. What we need is to train the students in collecting data with the use of social media platforms. We can completely orient the research in geography by orienting them on social media platforms. And in India, we need a strong legal policies for these social media platforms. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you for a nice presentation. Just 2 points here. What is the level of ground truthing? Will people go for some kind of library work, post getting data from internet? And another thing is, what is the credibility of various kinds of data we find on the various sites? Because all of them might not be credible. So how can respondents react to the credibility of material which is available on the social media?
Yes, ma'am. For this, we need to look for the articles of various research scholars, and there we can find the data credibility. But in the sense of collecting data, look for the spam and the things we should be looking for them.
Thank you, Akanksha.
Monica, ma'am, you're muted.
Ma'am, you are not audible.
Sorry. Can you go to your methodology section? I think
Yes,
in
ma'am.
the
Yes, ma'am.
third slide where you have mentioned that your study is qualitative and quantitative. So what
Yes, ma'am.
exactly do you mean by qualitative and quantitative?
Yes, ma'am. Quantitative in the sense means that the duration of time which students are using for social media platform, and in qualitative we are looking that the efficiency of social media, that people are relying on how social media, how much it is efficient.
So you contacted 290 respondents.
Yes, ma'am.
Your methodology is the nature of questions are both qualitative and quantitative.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you have qualitatively analyzed also, or qualitatively collected the data?
Ma'am, in the questionnaire itself, you can see that some sort of questions were put it that which shows that what the quality the social media for that we have some questions we have put in on that.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And who are the participants? Can you give me some demographic profile of these participants?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
How many
ma'am.
280 participants are there?
Yes, ma'am. Please show the slide.
Yeah, अभी यहीं पे था. So, but who are these?
Ma'am, these are basically we look for the students who are studying geography as a curriculum.
Yes. Okay. So they are UG, PG and research scholars primarily?
Yes, ma'am.
तो ये कहीं mention करना था ना? This is because this is the major part, right? Because you're comparing the traditional methods vis-a-vis the digital methods, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Akansha.
Thank you, ma'am.
Do we have any another question or?
I also had the same. Yeah, I also had the same question in my mind, that what is the social and occupational profile of the respondents? Because they are showing that they are using WhatsApp, Facebook as a source of information, as sites of information, but these are highly unreliable. And given that you have more reliable source of information which are present on internet, like ResearchGate and Academia and all these things, because a student must be aware about these sites also, because even Wikipedia is not highly reliable. And just a question, it's very small question. Are male, female gender category or sex category?
Ma'am, sir, I believe that it is a gender category.
But male and female as such are biological categories, and if you say men and women, they are gender category. Okay, so I think you should take note of this. Thank you. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you, sir. We will look about it.
Thank you, team. Moving ahead, I would like to call the next team. Team number 15, and their topic is social media platforms as geographical research tools, a boon. Nevalina Chakraborty, Monica Yadav, Nisha Kumari, and Meenakshi Patel. These are the team members. Do we have the team
Yes,
here?
we are here. Yes, we are here.
You can start present.
Okay.
Excuse me, this is team number 15 or what? Hello, Analia?
Yeah, are you there?
Sir, it is team number 15.
Thank you.
Hello, so good morning everyone. I, Navanila Chakrabarti, on behalf of my team members, is going to present you all our research topic, social media, a boon in geographical research or not. So as a broad topic, we have been given this topic of use of social media as research tool in geography, shifting paradigms and emerging issues. So as our research topic, we have selected this field of social media usage as research tools in geography in present times. We have selected this topic because we think this topic holds a lot relevance in current period because of the increasing usage of social media among general public. Social media plays a very important role in our lives, and hence we decided to know whether it holds the power to impact researchers or studies, particularly in the field of geography. So social media's importance in the fields of geographical researchers are whether high or minor. We have tried to find this out in our study. So coming to the conceptual framework, our paper revolves around two things, of course, social media and the field of our study, geography. So how social media plays a vital role in our lives, what are its limitations as a tool of geographical research, how much geographical researchers are actually inclined towards social media platforms, and their opinion about various social media platforms and their importance are to be discussed thoroughly in this paper. And also in this kind of pandemic scenario that the world is facing today, it is really important to know whether it has changed the course of study of geographical researchers from like field service to from field service to online researchers or social media service or not. So in our paper, this includes a separate section. Coming to the next slide, it consists of aims and objectives. Firstly, this study aims to bring out the positive or brighter side of social media. Secondly, to show how much geographical researchers are actually relying on social media as a tool of their research. Thirdly, to focus how social media post or information can be applied to various range of geographical issues. Fourthly, this paper aims to highlight what are the most preferable social media platforms for researchers from the perspective of a geographical researcher, and lastly, to highlight some of its limitations and disadvantages in the same. So coming to the methodology part, we have conducted an extensive primary survey via the circulation of Google Forms. Individual questionnaire was prepared in the form of both open-ended and closed-ended questions. And we have collected primary data from our respondents, from which we have used like several statistical techniques to show our findings. Speaking of our respondents, it covers a sample of 50 individuals, all of them belonging from the field of geography. And also, apart from the primary survey, secondary sources are used to aid our primary analysis. By the end of this session, participants will be able to describe the pros and cons of using social media in geographical researches, explain multiple use of social media in the same, and brainstorm creative practical ways to use social media for research purposes. So our analysis covers these 5 parts, which will be covered in the following slides. So the first topic is whether our respondents prefer social media service over primary service or not. So among our respondents, 46% replied with an affirmative yes, while for the remaining 54%, collection of information via primary service is more preferable over online researches. We have asked the reason for their preferences, and we also received certain suggestions about how social media can be more usefully handled to obtain information for our geographical research. All this will be discussed in the next slides. So firstly, our respondents given the reason of involvement of less time of cost regarding social media surveys. Secondly, from the viewpoint of our respondents, they said that it is more precise, like they can answer more precisely and within short time in case of social media surveys or surveys via Google Forms, as in case of primary surveys, it becomes quite extensive. Next, our respondents have also mentioned about the accessibility to certain population or to certain area, which are only possible through online surveys. Major instance is this COVID-19 situation when researchers may prefer online researchers more because of various safety issues like social distancing. Next, physical absence from the survey area is a major issue in case of online surveys. So yeah, we have received suggestions like we can ask the respondents to send us a video clip or picture of the study area, but it again depends on the respondents that whether they will send or not. So physical absence from the survey area is a major issue in case of online surveys. So next is biasness. Some of our respondents have mentioned about biasness within social media surveys, as people have more chances of giving biased or untruth information, and researcher cannot get any glimpse of that due to lack of personal interactions. Lack of details is also an issue that many individuals like they give very to the point answers and very precise answers which lack details in many scenarios. And also it is not possible, mainly in case of like physical surveys, it is not like in case of surveys related to physical geography is what I mean. It is not possible to conduct online surveys. Suppose you are researching on flora and fauna of a certain area or rocks of a certain region, then it is not possible, of course, to conduct social media surveys or online researches, and you have to like physically visit the area. Lastly, authenticity. The question regarding authenticity of social media information has also been raised by our respondents, because there are many social media sites, websites which do not provide like correct information, which can lead to wrong findings. So the number of respondents saying that they prefer primary surveys over social media researches are more according to our survey. It shows that definitely there has not been an entire shift from fieldwork to online researches as the mode of a geographer study. Using social media for geography related researches has its own disadvantages which we need to overcome, but at the same time its importance for some researches or situations cannot be at all ignored. Coming to the next topic of our analysis, that which social media platforms do our respondents prefer. First is blogging sites or blogs, because of reasons like regular updates, reliable materials, well developed communication network. And some of our respondents said that they prefer Facebook platforms like Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn for social media surveys because they have wide user bases, helping for circulation of information, first conduction of surveys, and obtaining information at a faster rate. Some have responded in favor of YouTube on the ground that it provides best content information and you can get lots of information about anything related to your research by seeing videos instead of reading lengthy articles or published papers. So these are the proportion of people. Around 43% said that they prefer blogging sites. 33% said that they prefer Facebook, Insta, Twitter, WhatsApp like platforms for social media service, and 24% said that they prefer YouTube. Sorry, I just missed one. Sorry, I just missed the slides. So yeah, the next slide, the next topic is what are the useful sites, channels, and blogs for geographical researches. So our respondents has given certain suggestions regarding this, that sites and blogs like National Geographic, academia.edu, ResearchGate, Google Scholar, Bhuvan, Google Earth, Your Article Library, New Geography, The Guardian Geography. These are some of the reliable sites and blogs that are used for geographical research purposes. And YouTube channels like Wonder Why, then Wendover Productions, Geography and Planning, Cardiff University Geography Hub, Darren Gage's Geography are preferable for geographical researchers. Using social media platforms can be an excellent way to promote geographical researches and share it with wider audience. So the next topic that we are going to cover is social media for various geographical issues. So regarding this, our respondents have given certain issues that can be addressed by social media. First of all, sending alerts or warnings during natural disasters like storms or cyclones. Next is social media increases the reach of your message, especially during such emergency like situations when survivors or responders communicate
Sorry
through
to
social
interrupt
media.
in between, but you have crossed your time limit of. So please conclude your
Okay,
presentation.
okay, okay, sure, sure. And lastly, this part contains how the social media has role has changed in the present COVID times. That yes, there are researchers who are preferring social media service over online service in COVID-19 time because of this safety issues. And then we have collected some other sources like secondary sources that highlight the use of social media in geographical researches. And according to a reliable source, around 9% of the people use social media for geographical research in current times. So, with this, we complete our session. Thank you.
Thank you, Novalina. It was a very nice presentation on the role of social networking sites for geographical research. Um, I would just like to know what are how you relate to different age categories of users in geographical research, whether it is, the one particular category is using more, another age category is using less. And there could be some, one section of society is using it more, another section is using less, and there could be class variations in the use.
Okay.
So, can you just put some light on
Yes,
that?
yes, yes, yes. We have not like collected data from a particular age category of people, but from geographical researchers like university students, as well as professors. So people from the field of geography have been our main target. There is no such specific age category or gender category.
Thank you very much, Novalina.
Yes, Navalina, it's a good presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I was also wondering, just your participants. They are what like? Can you give me some profile of your participants?
Yes, ma'am, there have been 50 individuals from whom we collected the data. And as I mentioned, that most of them are university students and as well as from higher, like professors in geography, like that.
They are from academics only, no?
Yes, yes, yes. And from
They
the
are
field of, yes, ma'am,
geography.
and from the field of geography, yes.
Okay. Now, the second thing is ki, can we go for mixed mode of data collection in geography? Meaning the traditional
Sorry, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am, I didn't.
Mixed mode of data collection.
Like, as in from like various groups.
No, mixed mode meaning like you can go for traditional as well as the digital platforms, online
Yes,
platforms.
ma'am. Yes, yes, yes.
You can you incorporate both these two modes into your research?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Like we can conduct like both primary or traditional by primary or by traditional method, as well as this kind of online researches. Both can like complement each other.
Primary तो दोनों ही होंगे as you are collecting data,
Yes.
right?
Like in case of traditional service, I mean, like in case of field service, and we can complement them with online researchers, with researchers from social media. Like they can both be together, and we can derive more suitable results.
Okay, thank you. But
Thank you, ma'am.
just keep in mind that content should not be there on the slides.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, my laptop isn't working. It suddenly like
No,
stopped working, so I had to do
Yes,
from
this
my
is all
phone.
ये ना यही सारा जो
Technical issues, yes, ma'am.
we should all be prepared for that and last
Yes, ma'am.
just हो ही जाती हैं.
Yes, ma'am. एकदम last moment में हो गया, तो that's why.
कोई बात नहीं.
Sorry for
Absolutely.
that.
No. Please don't worry about that.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Now, Alina, You said that among your respondents, there were students of geography and there were also teachers of geography.
Yes, sir.
So, did you find any variations in terms of choice of social media as a source of data? So,
Yes, sir.
did you find? Huh, yeah.
Students like us, they prefer more of online service, like service through Google Forms. And while the researchers, like geographical researchers, if we talk about professors or PhD respondents, they prefer more of like field service, field works, like going to the study area and collecting data.
My question is not that. In fact, both of them are using online platform to collect data
Yes, sir.
or to gain information. So, did you find that teachers and research scholars are using those sites which are a lot more reliable and more established, like Academia or ResearchGate or GStore or something like that? Or students are more relying on like Facebook, WhatsApp, and Wikipedia, or
No, sir. No, sir. Even students are relying on such sites like ResearchGate, then like such sites which have published papers and published articles. Even students are relying on that.
that's good. That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, team. So I'll be calling the next team, team number 16, and their topic is mass pollution, a case study of selected cities of India. Team members are Ashima Goel, Isha Bhattacharjee, Bhavna Tehlan, Udita Tripathi. Are you ready, team?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
You can start presenting your screen.
Okay, ma'am. Good morning to one and all present over here. We are team number 16. Our topic, mass pollution, is an attempt to unmask the pollution levels that are now being happening due to open dumping of the surgical mask. The current pandemic period has made the usage of mask compulsory. However, if not disposed properly, the surgical mask, which contains polypropylene, which is a thermoplastic type, does not get destroyed, releasing harmful gases and polluting the environment. Globally, this ecological hazard has already been considered as a serious threat, as also noted by many international media, including BBC, Los Angeles Times, etc. In this research of ours, we are focusing on the local awareness about this issue. As social media has become an important part of people's lives, we use this medium as one of the research tool to gather information and as well as to create awareness. Now, the objectives of our research includes, firstly, to do a comparative analysis of cities, which is Delhi and Jamshedpur, to assess the level of awareness about mask pollution. Secondly, to analyze and to highlight the impact of social media in creating awareness. Thirdly, to give suggestive measures to tackle this mask pollution. Now, moving on to the methodology of our research. For the research purpose, primary survey has been conducted in some parts of the cities of Delhi and Jamshedpur. Due to the pandemic, primary survey was conducted with the help of social media. Questionnaire in the form of Google Forms were circulated using different social media platforms, including WhatsApp and Instagram. Through our primary survey, we have 375 of the respondents. Secondary data have also been used from published sources. QGIS software has been used to develop map and statistical method has been used to analyze the data. Now, the findings from the research includes the comparative analysis in which our study areas were Delhi, which is the National Capital Territory, and Jamshedpur, which is an urban agglomeration. Through our research, we found that the surveyed people of Delhi were less aware about the health hazard of open dumping of plastic masks than the people of Jamshedpur. Though 55% of Delhi respondents confirmed to have seen open dumping of masks, but only 30% confirmed to know the correct way of dumping the mask. On the other hand, 60% of the respondents in Jamshedpur confirmed to know the correct way of dumping the mask. In Delhi, around 80% respondents confirmed to have used surgical masks, but only 30% dumped them properly. And in Jamshedpur, about 75% of the respondents had confirmed to have used surgical masks, and of them, 60% informed to have properly disposed the surgical mask after usage. From the survey, it was also asked if people know about the mask pollution, which indicated that 56% of the respondents from Jamshedpur were aware about it. On the contrary, 44% respondents were aware about the mask pollution in Delhi. Now, the pie diagram shows that about 50% of the respondents from both the cities receives most of the information of most issues, including the social issues, from different social media platforms than the other sources, followed by friends and family, television, newspaper, and radio. As you can see on the screens, the pie diagram suggests the impact of social media in spreading the awareness. Social media thus has played a key role in spreading awareness, which is as social media platforms are easy to use and any news can easily be made viral through that. Thus, our team also utilized social media apart from primary survey to create awareness amongst people about masked pollution by creating a hashtag campaign called Unmasking Masked Pollution through Instagram platform. As per the third objective, some suggestive measures on the basis of our findings are: firstly, as social media is a powerful medium to spread awareness, this platform should be used more by authorities to create awareness about the correct way of dumping the mask. Secondly, around 60% of the surveyed population from both the cities wanted installation of more yellow colored dustbins or separate dustbins with COVID-19 written on it, as suggested by CPCB, which is Central Pollution Control Board. Thirdly, usage of washable and reusable masks should be promoted so as to reduce the usage of single-use surgical masks. In our research work, thus, apart from using social media for collecting data and information, we have hashtag, which is a powerful tool in social media, created a campaign on unmasking the mask pollution. Now, unmasking the mask pollution is hereby an attempt to combat with the challenge of mask pollution and to spread the word among people in order to make people sensitized about its seriousness and to curb the major issue of open dumping of surgical masks that has now become frequent. In our research work, thus, apart from using social media for collecting data and information, we have through hashtag, this is our Instagram page that we have created, and we have been trying to create awareness about the impact of mask pollution in our own way. This is the Instagram page of our initiative on which we share and spread awareness about the mask pollution on the regular basis. Now, this is the work done by our team members at local level. We did campaign in our nearby localities, and it gives me immense pleasure to share that our hashtag campaign on unmasking mass pollution has gained large number of followers, and most of them agreed to dump the single-use mask properly. In the end, I would like to say that fight is not only from coronavirus but also from environment pollution that has been increasing gradually. Due to time and pandemic, our research was limited to few areas of Delhi and Jamshedpur. If given opportunity, we will surely succeed in our venture, and we take pledge to continue our drive against mask pollution through our mask campaign. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anshima. It was a very nice presentation and nicely presented. The approach is very interesting and it is a serious problem in nowadays world. I just wanted to know what was your respondent size in both the cities?
Ma'am, in totality, the respondents were 375.
Okay, so equally distributed between the two, or
Ma'am, actually, the thing is that because as we all know that population density of the cities, which is Delhi and Jamshedpur, they have a huge difference of the population size. So that is why the respondents number were not equal. They were more from Delhi as compared to Jamshedpur.
because see, you might have interacted with one section of people from Jamshedpur. That is why your data is showing more positivity in your approach of using the mask and disposing them. And this was so I think the size of cities does make a difference on your data analysis.
Absolutely, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
On that. Otherwise, it was a very nice and a very interesting topic and very relevant in the contemporary time. And it was a good presentation.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Ashima and your team. Wonderful presentation and a very relevant theme also. Just my query is, you selected Delhi and Jamshedpur, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and your respondents are 375.
Yes, ma'am.
Just a rough estimate, like agar kuch yaad hai, so how many your respondents were?
Was there any specific reasons for?
So that I'm not asking because some team members must be from Jamshedpur and some from Delhi.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
Ma'am, but for the rough idea, ma'am, I know, ma'am, major people, ma'am, because we circulated these forms online only, and from ma'am WhatsApp and Instagram platforms. So, ma'am, most of the respondents that we collected, they were from Delhi, and ma'am, from the estimate around. Ma'am, 200 respondents you can clearly make out that they were from Delhi, and the rest of them were from Jamshedpur.
Dekho, when we do research, na, of course, we are all in learning phases or ye sara hota hai, but you have to be little cautious whether you are doing it through a traditional method or whether you are doing online. Online, you have to be more precise because there are so many ethical issues that come up, right? So there has to be not much difference between the respondents from one city to the other, because matching has to be done. Did you match on any ground? Meaning their some educational criteria or?
Ma'am, actually, we wanted to check whether the common people and the people around, in general, they know about this issue that is happening currently. And ma'am, there is not enough media coverage of that, in fact. So that is why we actually
when you designed the form, did you have any criteria like educational qualification or something like that? On that basis, you could have accepted or rejected the form, and you could have gone ahead with the more data collection, right? See, because these are the loopholes in the methodology part at times that we all do. You need to match and so on, because that is why, like Dr. Kaur was also suggesting, that can lead to differences in the responses also? See,
Ma'am,
100, tell me.
Ma'am, we actually based our research mainly on the economic criteria. We sent these Google Forms to people belonging to the medium and high income category, and also we also compared them on the access they have on with social media, the interaction with the social media.
Okay. But in a true sense, you have used, the social media platforms in the real sense in research. That I can say, of course.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ma'am, do we have any other question?
I don't have any question for this team. And yeah, no, I don't have any question. It was a good presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anali, you can move further.
Yes, ma'am. So I'm calling next team. That is team number 17, and their topic is impact of social media on tourism. Sanvi Chaudhary, Shanu Huda, Kiran Sharma, Rosina Akhtar, and Harshit Pandey. These are the members. Do we have the team ready?
Yes, we are here.
You can start presenting.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Sanvi Chaudhary, and the paper title is Impact of Social Media on Tourism. Introduction. Since the beginning of human existence, humans have witnessed number of inventions which have changed the entire lifestyle of the people. Everything was changing rapidly in 19th decade, whether it is globalization, market share, media, medical, and tourism. In that boom, tourism industry also got the much needed impact. Booking of tickets, hotels certainly become a piece of cake for the travelers. In advent of Facebook in 2004, prevailed the way of social networking sites. Platforms like Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, WhatsApp also evolved. Largest mountain range of the world, that is mighty Himalayas, are still unexplored and untouched due to the less exposure and knowledge. But after the sudden upsurge of the social networking sites, people had started to share pictures and videos to show that they have been exploring the hidden and concealing the places. They start an era of furious competition to unearth the undetected places. For this study, we have concentrated on Indian state of Uttarakhand. The objective of the studies are to assess the role of social media in the expansion of tourism in offbeat locations, to assess the impact of this on the local economies. Third, to identify the limitations of social media as a source of information and as a research tool. The method had been used are: the team has reviewed literature available on the subject to assess the impact of social media on the tourism from the secondary sources. Second, questionnaire-based survey had been conducted by using different social media platforms. Third, team has conducted interview with the people who are in tourism industry of Uttarakhand. Fourth, the experience in conducting this study have been used to identify any shortcomings in using social media as a tool of research. The result. In this study, we have found that impact of social media on tourism in Uttarakhand. Second point, we have done survey by posting Google form link on our social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, etc. And we got 180 responses. With the help of this questionnaire, we have found that people use social media and traveling websites to find and visit offbeat locations. We have also conducted interview of people who are in this tourism industry of Uttarakhand to find how the social media have impacted their business and the local economy. We got 23 interviews. First findings. There is significant impact of social media on the expansion of tourism in offbeat locations. 52% people said that they like to go to explore offbeat locations. 46.1% of people agree we have visited a place that have not heard before but come across
through social media platforms and decided to visit it. 72.8% of people agree that social media has a positive impact on tourism in Uttarakhand. Second findings. There is a significant impact of social media on a local economy. In telephonic interview was conducted with people connected with tourist industry in Uttarakhand. Number of responses were identified from their websites or Facebook or Instagram pages. All of them agree that social media has increased their ability to reach customers. 73% believe that social media have a positive impact on tourism and the local economy. Almost 69% visitors like to purchase local crafts when they visit a place. Third findings. Limitation of social media as a tool of research. Social media is an easy platform to conduct survey simply by circulating link of a form. While we are doing this survey, we posted the link on our social media platforms and we easily got 150 responses within 24 hours. Can only access people who use social media platform, therefore only certain type of studies can be conducted. As I said, we posted the link on the social media. We only reach to the people who are connected with us on the social media, which are our peer groups only. Limit the number of questions can be asked. As we run a mock test and find that the lengthier the questionnaire, people refuse or disagree to fill it. That's why we have to shorten the question numbers, and question should be to the point, which can help us to find the result. No scope of clarification. Sometimes it is difficult for a person to understand the question properly. But if a person is filling a questionnaire and we can't explain the question properly, so his or her answer can be deferred and make a difference in the result. We can only reach people who are available on our social group. As I before said, we can only reach to the peer group which are connected to our social media. Social media as a source of information. While using social media as a research engine, one can come across fake accounts and various fake reviews. For example, when we are conducted interviews, we come across various fake accounts and Facebook pages and Instagram pages which were giving us a wrong information about the place. It was difficult for us to conduct interviews with the wrong information. While conducting an online survey, it became very difficult to convey the exact motive of the survey. Some of the interviews ask why we are asking these questions about their businesses and why we are asking that when they started their business and where it is located. For us, it was very difficult to convey them that it is a only survey for study purpose. To conclude this study, social media is huge and increase in importance. It is a cheap, quick, and easy accessible source of real-time information. Helps service providers by improving their understanding of customers' need. For customers, it is a source of information and a platform to share experience. As a research tool, it is still evolving and had a huge potential. Thank you.
Thank you, Tanvi. It is a different topic of discussion than what we are hearing earlier. I just wanted to know what is the composition of your respondents? What background they are from, whether they are from cities or whether they are from smaller towns, big town, what are the age categories? Any clue on that?
Yes,
ma'am. What kind of questionnaire you have? Were you asking for a multiple choice questions or it was a subjective kind of a questionnaire you have prepared for your respondents?
Ma'am, when we posted the link on social media, we asked other people also to forward the link to the different social groups. As we only reached to the age group of 20 and mid-30s only. The responses are from 20 to 30 age groups only. They are not certified as an income group, but we have the age data. And the question were multi choices in yes and no and sometimes. and the percentage are derived from there only.
Thank you very much. It was a nice presentation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello, Sanvi. Good presentation. You have mentioned somewhere that you also took interview.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So they were face to face or some other?
No, ma'am, it was telephonic interview. We call people. We took the number from Instagram or the Facebook pages, and we called them and asked the questions.
So were they recorded? How did you?
Yes, ma'am. They were recorded. We have the recorded data also.
And then how you interpreted, I mean, how you analyze the data that you received?
Ma'am, because most of the interviews from only Uttarakhand, so people were replying almost the same answers. They have said they had a good impact of the social media has there, and the answer were calculating the positive and the negative response.
Why only Uttarakhand?
Ma'am, as the progress report, ma'am, some teachers suggested us that we should concentrate on Uttarakhand because Himalayan region is a very large area to cover. So as per the progress report, we got the suggestion that we should focus on the Uttarakhand.
Okay, because your title is Impact of Social Media on Tourism.
Yes, ma'am.
And so tourism in Uttarakhand per se.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I ask a question? Okay. Now this paper is on impact of social media on tourism industry.
Yes, sir.
Generally, what happens that this social media is also influenced. It does influence tourists, no doubt about it. But what happens? They provide some exaggerated. They create an exaggerated image of the place just to attract the tourist. So, do you think that we should also obtain data or collect data from those tourists who have already visited after using, after being attracted because of advertisement in the website or because of advertisement in social media, and they went with certain expectations, and where these expectations were fulfilled or not? Because we do find that we go with a lot of expectation as if the place where we are going is full of good and it's like heaven. But once you reach there, then you start feeling that this is also a place, an ordinary place in many senses. So they get a setback there. So do you think that we should also have some kind of mechanism when some research on this aspect also?
Yes, sir, I truly believe it. Because when we were interviewing people, we come across various fake accounts and the wrong information about certain places. I truly believe we should do a survey on these type of people and the website also.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, team. So next, I'm going to call team number 13, and their topic is reimagining and restyling the geography of political perspectives, a case study of Bihar electoral scenario. And the team members are Aryan Aditya, Yashraj, Krishnakant, Paras Nath, and Devanshu. Judges, this is team number 13.
Am I clearly audible? Can please someone check?
Yes,
yes, absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning to all and all present here, respected judges, my fellow teachers, and my classmates and other from other colleges. This is Aryan Aditya representing my team along with Krishnakant, Parasnath, and Devanshu in the National Geographers Youth Conclave 2021. Our topic is reimagining and restyling the geography of political perspectives, a case study of Bihar electoral scenario. This is our presentation outline. The pandemic has given new dimensions and stage to electoral politics all over the globe. If we closely observe, we may find at the global level that was the US presidential elections that the whole world was watching for. But in India, that was the Bihar assembly elections that was the one major election in India, and the whole nation stood upon it. In this assembly election, 7.18 crores people voted for propagandas like employment and development. One thing to mention, Bihar has always been a region with caste and religion politics, but this year was not the same. The pandemic has created new dimensions, and these were employment and better education facilities. Issues like unemployment, low gross domestic product, accompanied with poor infrastructure in health and education facilities, were main issues that rose in this pandemic, and Bihar's health system was critically questioned during the time of pandemic. Next slide. This is the literature survey. We have surveyed around 26 research papers by our team, and they have been divided according to their concepts and methods they were talking about. Our study area is Bihar. Bihar is having 38 districts divided into 9 zones. There's a study area map prepared by our team through the ArcGIS software. We can move to next. Our key objectives. Our key objectives include to highlight the key issues that has taken the center stage in this pandemic. Secondly, understanding the role of basic amenities demands in the masses that rose in this pandemic. And third, to assess the role of youth and uses of social media and local politics during the time of pandemic. Database and research methodology is an important part of our research. This study is completely based on the uses of social media as data source and tool. The main database is Twitter. We have collected tweets from the official Twitter handles of various political stakeholders of Bihar elections. The time period was 1st October to 10th November. Since we know that the 28th of October to 7th of November was the election dates in Bihar, 1st of October to the 10th of November was the peak campaigning dates for Bihar. 2,768 Twitter posts of various political parties and individual politicians between that date were being analyzed by our team. The study plan of our research, we just pre-processing of data, that is stage 1 includes Twitter. We extracted tweets, then we refined it and came to data collection. After data collection, we did text mining, that was word cloud, tree map, cluster analysis, etc. And then we came to our result analysis, and we recognized some trends and patterns in the Bihar assembly elections. Our research methodology, we have used the computer-assisted qualitative data analysis softwares. These softwares include NVivo. This is the qualitative data analysis software. Under NVivo, we have used 3 techniques: the cluster analysis technique, word cloud, and tree map techniques. Our team took a 3-day workshop on performing NVivo software. These are some snapshots while we were working on NVivo to analyze our data. Now, the results and discussion parts, that is our major part. We have divided into 3 sections. What are the major parties and how they were tweeting, their major leaders also, and overall aggregate trend of the tweets. This is the bar graph of the total number of tweets tweeted by different major political parties. Although total tweets were 2768, Janata Dal United tweeted 1368 tweets, and apart from that, there were many shares, retweets, and we have not included that. Nice. When we come to Rashtriya Janata Dal, that is RJD, this is the word cloud that image shows here. We can see the words Prahar, Trust, and Vyavastha, Nyay, Mudda. These are the words targeting different opponent parties. The RJD, that was a major opposition party, has spent a fair share of time targeting other parties, though it's in its manifesto it said that we will provide employment and we will provide better education facilities, but their tweets, overall analysis of their tweets shows that they were busy targeting the opponents. Similarly, this is the national support map from where people were tweeting in India and in Bihar, from what locations people were tweeting and their frequencies. For Janata Dal United also, Nitish Kumar was, we can see the highlight orange color. Nitish Kumar was tweeted mostly. Though one striking feature of this party is that Janata Dal United didn't started targeting its opponents, though it was a ruling party at that time. So the main motto was Vikas, and they fought on the motto of development, and this was their key highlight. Development, Kaam, Parkha, and Tarakki. This is the frequency of the top 10 words used by the JDU, and we can find Vikas, Parkha, and this is Kaam and Tarakki, and so all those positive words we can find in the Twitter analysis of Janata Dal United. Apart from these two major parties, we have the Lok Janshakti Party headed by Chirag Paswan as its president. They were having the motto of Bihar first and Bihari first. They mean to portray the Bihari identity. In the pandemic, the Bihari identity was seriously questioned when all of the migrants came to Bihar. So Bihar first and Bihari first, and creating an infrastructure development so that no one have to migrate to other places. So they fought on the motto of Bihar first and Bihari first. And apart from that, they very well maintained the balance of different approaches like Swasth, Rojgar, and Vetan, and all those keywords. They were very well organized, though this party lost the election because it lacked coalition and has a very weak support base. Other was RLSP. When we see the word cloud of our Rashtriya Lok Samata Party, that is the RLSP, we can clearly see they are fighting on the motto of Shiksha and Rojgar. They were not busy targeting other fellow opponents. They were like Badaliye. They want a change, and they want Shiksha, they want Rozgar. They highlighted those words in their tweets regularly. And this was one of the best word cloud one can have in a democratic party, where what they promised in their manifesto was reflecting in their tweets. And though it's a small party, it formed the Grand Democratic Secular Front, though it lost the election, but overall in the Twitter form, they reflected what they mean. Apart from that, CPI, this year CPI, they fought on 29 seats and won 16 seats. That was a very big, large number for the party from the left ideology. Though their Twitter cloud, that is the word cloud, never shows what were their promises made in their manifesto. They're highlighting words like CPI, Mahagathbandhan, Comrade, Kshetra, and Ummidwar. Plurals was one party that the whole nation looked upon. This was the first time some girl announced herself as the CM candidate for Bihar. She was from Oxford, and on March 8, in multiple dailies, she announced herself as the future CM candidate for Bihar. She fought on mottos like industrialization in Bihar and better education facilities, but their social media page tweeted very less in numbers, and whatever they tweeted, they were targeting other opponents. Basically, they were targeting the Janata Dal United government, and that is the NDA-led government. We have some major crowd pullers who portrayed themselves as the future CM candidate for Bihar, though they lost the elections, though their party lost the elections. But what they were tweeting, that Tejasvi Yadav, son of Sri Lalu Prasad Yadav, he was the head of Rashtriya Janata Dal, and he was tweeting Bihar. Bihar was highlighting. Bihar is highlighted here. So Bihari identity was very much used in this election. Though the Tejasvi Yadav is using the word Nitish, so he's not even using his own name, he's using Nitish. So this shows that your mottos are never here, you are busy targeting other people's. Same with Chirag Paswan also from the Lok Janshakti Party, Bihar first and Bihari first. And though their mottos are like Rojgar and Shikshak and Corona finds a suitable place here. The first time we can say the Corona word is in the word cloud. The Pappu Yadav was from the Jan Adhikar party. He was also busy targeting people. He was saying Ramvilas, Bhajpa, Bihar, BJP, Chirag, and other words. What they have promised in their manifestos, this is not seen. Now, when we overall analyze the tweets of every political party and its stakeholders, we can see in this cluster analysis, Sarabandi, Barbad, so different words, relative concepts have been defined here. And on the next slide, we will get to see things clearly. That is our tree map. Before that, it is a word cloud. Okay, tree map. This is the focus area, concern area, and the anecdotes. The focus area, we can see Bihar, Vikas Sarkar, and Nitish Kumar was in the focus for all political parties and stakeholders. And the concerns with Janta, Kam, Taraqi, and different words are their concerns and their different anecdotes. So the cluster analysis gives a relative concept. They join the related concepts at the same time. They distinguishes them. On the word cloud, we can see word cloud. Is the word cloud, we can see Bihar. Bihar is the term that was very much highlighted during the elections for all political parties. Apart from Bihar, we can see Janta, Vikas. Vikas does find a suitable place for the state like Bihar. Vikas has find the center stays here. Next. What we can infer from these things, the pandemic has created a huge demand for infrastructure among masses across the globe. This is true. We have found Vikas and developments and even Rojgar and Shiksha as taking center place in word clouds of some political parties. The total frequency analysis of the words tweeted by various political stakeholders indicate development is the key issue promised by major political parties. And development in its ambit, please go back, development in its ambit encompasses various attributes like healthcare, roads, and education also. When we can also infer the top 10 words of the all political parties used by them, the Vikas was the most used word by them, followed by Nitish Kumar, and Parkha and Kam and Sat Nischay Yojana does find a suitable place here. Our final references include, that would conclude with our objectives too. Parties like CPI and LJP heavily banked upon student leaders and youth leaders, basic amenities along with employment, and better education facilities along with library and sports universities promised, highly attracted youth voters, and hence proves that election heavily relied upon their support. So youth was one the political parties who were targeting for, and the basic demands that was demanded by the youths. Bihar was a land of caste and religion politics, but the pandemic changed the direction of electoral promises to development and likewise promises. From our arduous research, we have observed that parties with great clout have more presence in social media platforms. Their PR teams are extremely effective and involved in positive perception building of their respective parties. So we may conclude like popularity of a particular party is proportional to their social media presence. That we have seen in the form of JDU and RJD. They are the biggest party, and they are the one who tweeted frequently. And all parties were tweeting in Hindi, which helped the political parties in reaching out to a wider group of people. So in our study also, we tried to maintain the originality of the study, and all the tweets and all the word clouds were formed in Hindi. That's it from our side. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. It was a very extensive and a very well organized presentation by you. And it shows a lot of labor has been put in for organizing such an intensive research on electoral geography. Just a small query. What was the response of general respondents, the voters, about these tweets? Did you analyze something on that? What was the general public review on all these political Twitter's strategy has done as political
Ma'am,
parties.
ma'am, our approach was to not include any respondent for our studies because it would need a refining data. So we extracted data from the official Twitter handles of different political parties and leaders.
Yeah. Suppose a lot of work was put in, and it was a very good presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, Yash, Aryan, and the team, excellent work, and good that you have taken the official handle. So that is authentic in a way, right? And no questions as such. Really good piece of work.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, I have a query. There is a word which is comrade, particularly you have.
Yes, sir, in the
when
word
you
cloud of
analyze-
CPI.
But this is quite deceptive because this is not an issue. This word does not reflect that they are raising this issue. It's just a friend. I mean, comrade means sathi or
Yes, sir,
friend.
comrade means friend. So we
So,
did like
sometimes,
which.
Just a minute. What I'm trying to say is that when you are selecting the word,
Yes, sir.
the most frequently or most recurringly used words that comes out in the Twitter. So, do you have any mechanism that you can remove some of those words, like comrade here, and it doesn't reflect anything. It has nothing to do with the election. Fine. It is a way of addressing the public.
Yes, sir.
So, if you remove the word comrade, then the real issues will come out. That's what I am saying. Because what is happening is that because of this word, the real issue that left party like here CPIM has used is not coming up. Are you getting it? Otherwise, it is an excellent work, no doubt about it. You have
Yes,
really
sir.
put in lots of effort, and I think this will be very useful for political parties also, because they can also analyze it and to chalk out their own strategies at the time of election. Good work.
So just to add on, what I think you, Aryan and all, you might be in a better position to answer. You cannot take out words like that from the word cloud.
Sir, ma'am, I'd like to handle it to Krishan Kant. He was the one who was operating with NVO. But for that word comrade, I would like to say this word includes the feelings of the political party. So that's why we kept that word comrade in that. And Krishan Kant, will you please answer the query of ma'am?
Yeah, no, see, the word cloud has picked out the prominent words that have occurred, no?
Yes, sir. The word with the highest frequency.
Highest frequency, kind of that. So I don't think so. We cannot, like what sir is saying, we cannot take out the word as such.
And that's what I am confirming with Krishan Kant.
I mean, we need to be, in addition to what the software is saying, I mean, because you are a researcher, you must use your own independent judgment that which words truly reflect the election process. I mean, comrade is something which is very frequently used by left leaders. It is a way of saying salam or those, hello, those kaise ho. It is like this only. So this they cannot. I mean, this is not an agenda or something. This is which can be put before the public. Getting votes.
Sir, I am Krishna Kant. Sir, we can add those. Sir, we can remove those words from. Sir, there is option in Vivo to remove that word. Sir, we can do that later on when we will publish our research paper. We will do that, sir.
But the analytics have taken out the most common occurring words, right? What
yes,
like,
yes,
sir, because that will also be not okay to take out the word because you have taken. वैसे आपने सारे जो highest frequency वाले हैं, आपने सारे tweets में से वही आपने लिए. So why just take out the word, right? Now, the second thing is we can always revalidate it with the help of thematically analyzing it. That has to be done manually, but right, you can thematically analyze the tweets.
Yes, ma'am.
Done manually, not through some software, because this is the technical thing. Now, the software has done it.
Yes, ma'am. But the software in Vivo, ma'am, provide option of removing those words which we do not want to, remove or add in our blood clot. We can remove that, ma'am, later on.
तो हर एक उसमें से भी कर सकते हैं.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, ma'am, we are over with technical session 3, and we'll be having 5 minutes break to continue our technical session 4.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
We resume.
Ma'am, we'll break for 10 minutes and we'll resume at 12:40.
Okay, fine.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.